rings the bell. Okay, call to order. Mr. Meece.
Hi there. I just got a couple things. We had our COVID meeting, and I'm not sure if they're going to report to you today or not, but just so you know, we have we're up to 56, I think, cases here. Vermilion County has passed us. Now they were at 59 yesterday. We have at least 17 active cases. That's at least, I'm not sure if there's one or two more, but at least 17 actives going on now. One current hospitalization. Our 7-day positivity rate for Parke County is up to 7.7. It was at 4.5 and stayed around 6 for a while. Now we're at 7.7. For Meece County, it's over 12% now. Only other thing I really have for you is insurance-wise. Just, of course, it could all fall apart. I understand that, but right now we're about $250,000 below what we expected out of our budgets. Not really a budget, so we're self-insured, but we're about $250,000 below where we expected to be. And those percentages for per person, per employee use is down 17% since 2019, and since 2018 we're down 25%. So it should be a good renewal year, but of course it can all fall apart now. People have been shy about going to the doctor because of the COVID thing, so that may kick in later in time. We've only got what, 4 months left in the year, so we should be at least in good shape anyway. See how it goes now. And people are still, of course, since they have been reluctant to go, we're still working off their deductibles. Once those deductibles are met, then our plan will kick in more as well. But right now, it's looking pretty good.
Good.
That's really all I know.
So no increase for next year?
I don't know. Can't promise that. Quite like that. I hope so, but yeah. You're always going to have administrative cost increase. That's really all we pay. So it's not like we're basing our increases on the experience because we're self-funded. So it's good news for us that we're below what we expected to be. But as far as fees go, those will probably go up whatever inflation is they typically do. So I'm sure we'll see some increase, but it should just be in line with inflation just to cover the third-party administrative costs. But that's just me expecting things if they stay the way they are. So if you're giving me that 20% increase level, like I usually give you, then we'll be okay.
Yeah. When's the HSA payment? Has that been?
That went out last week.
It's been out last week then, so that's the second installment thing.
Yes.
Good deal. Anything else?
Unless you got questions for me, that's everything else pretty much.
You're making the decision Monday about the festival.
Right. And I've met with several groups. I've had lots of letters, actually letters written, like in an envelope and everything sent to me, and a lot of phone calls. I've had no one be aggressive about it, but I have had not one from anyone pushing for it. They've all been pushing against it. So right now the poll in the Sentinel is right about 50-50. I think it's 48-52, like 100 votes separating the two. So it's one of those things that you're going to have half people for and half people against. So we'll just have to make that call Monday.
Right. So, okay, sounds good.
Okay.
Sounds good. Cindy? Nothing? All right.
Nothing. I just figured there would be curiosity about the shop building.
Well, you can talk about the shop. I don't know how much you can. I might have asked, but I didn't know how much you could say. So, what you can tell us? Why? Talk about shop go then.
Sure. I was just saying the thing I can tell you is I talked to the realtor yesterday. He was pleasantly surprised at the activity in the bidding, which closed yesterday afternoon.
So the bidding is now closed, and then we will go from.
It'll probably take several days post that because unless someone hit that reserve price, they'll go back and look at all the bids and then probably start the negotiation piece with those people that have bidded and so forth. But we were able to get some local activity going, so we were pleased about that.
Good.
What's going on with the old Rockville nursing? That parking lot's full.
I haven't really been in conversation. I just know what I've heard from the Rockville Town Council meetings that they're still doing that Hickory
Rehab
Center, I think is what
the last few days the parking lot has been full.
It has been, yeah.
Maybe they were finally getting
It looked like staff treatment or training or something.
I was saying those aren't workers' vehicles; those are staff people vehicles. But they're all over the nice vehicles, and so it must be trains, that kind of thing going on, sitting up rooms, whatever.
It's good though. I mean, there's some activity there.
They got the building painted; it looks good.
Yes, it does.
Okay. All right, Kurt.
Just wanted to update you on the fair and stuff that we had there. Many of you know that we offered a virtual option as well as an in-person option where we had show and go shows for the livestock. all the poster and projects inside the 4-H building, that was a drop off to where we tried to isolate stuff as much as we could. Everything seemed to go okay. Didn't hear too many complaints from parents or guardians, so we were pretty pleased that we were able to offer something that went and was positive in the community in this time. Also, Christy will be out of the office till the end of September, so I'm the interim CED. So if you guys need anything, just contact me. Any questions on the fair?
I thought it went well. I was glad we were able to have something. I mean, the kids have basically had nothing to do since March. So it was a good thing that at least we put something on, and it seemed I thought it went well. I mean, it seemed
thing that I think,
yeah, I thought it went.
and some switching of the order of animal shows and stuff that I think may end up sticking around.
Yeah, I mean, like the hog show. I mean, there were several positive comments about having the hog show or separating the bears and the gilts in 2 different days. I think a lot of people like that just because of
A lot less stress on
and parents and 4-H'ers and even on the not and all of that. So I thought it went.
Probably the biggest thing that was different than normal was the auction with not having the actual livestock there. That was different for a lot of people, but
It was different, but I think it helped speed it along a little bit.
That was the fastest auction we've ever had, I think, and the big thing that we didn't have a buyer for the livestock anyway, so it was best just to send them home and after the show.
You should have been at the sale barn the next couple of weeks after that. They were about to pull their hair out when dealing with some of that stuff.
So I've heard.
Yeah, but yeah, I thought it went very well. So I mean, I thought that everybody was safe about it and that it was a good thing, and glad that it worked out.
We're trying.
Now you're going to be making money hand over fist renting out the pig barn for these events.
I don't know about that. Trying to maintain as much integrity in the office as we can. It's a lot of times we have meetings, one-on-one like other people in the county, and just trying to keep it secure since we're out away from, the main courthouse and stuff. And that's probably one of the things that we try to do the most up there. And I've been making farm calls the whole time, so.
Okay, sounds
All on
good.
protocol.
Okay, sounds good. Well, sounds good. Sounds good. Thanks, Donna.
We're up to 20 last night. The only thing that's changing for me maybe is I have a full-time county deputy that's for the sheriff's department that's interested in possibly serving as a deputy for me. I don't think that would be any different than the way you pay them for courthouse security on their off hours. They would not be covering the coroner's office when they were on their sheriff's
Yeah, that would be the main thing.
Payroll.
He cannot be at the scene as a deputy and then suddenly jump to be the coroner.
Right.
He has to be either one or the other.
Right. So, but with Phyllis ready, Phyllis had told me she'd give me a year, and this is her second one. And now that Dan's retiring, I'm guessing I'm going to get a little more pressure about that. So I'm going to be needing to fill those spots anyway. So if I've got somebody that's already a little bit trained, at least on the law enforcement side, that's kind of
yeah.
handy.
Yeah, well, that'd be good. It's just, you have to have that separation,
Right,
so
right. And I kind of already have that with Jack too. Now,
Right.
he wasn't a full-time dispatcher when he came on with me, but he's become one, so he can't ever be.
right, because
call.
if they were to be called into question, why, then
Right.
it wouldn't be. But no, that'd be great. That'd be great.
Yeah, that's it.
So, okay. Is there anybody else down the hall or anybody that's...
Justin.
Sure.
Oh, okay. Having... I couldn't see you, so I didn't know if you were there or not. Okay. Well, go ahead.
I just have a few brief things. We billed $14,100.50 for July for DOC and out of county. We're averaging $18,000 a month for this year, so that should throw us around $220,000 is what we're on target for. Gun permits are still on the increase, like personal protection, home safety, property protection is the main drive on that. But if you get a 5-year gun permit, it is free. They waive the fees on those. Lifetime is still charged, but the 5 years free. So that's still on the increase. We did LED lighting upgrade at the jail. They started that last week. They're still continuing it this week, so kind of like an energy efficient cost savings thing. That's been going good. They just started a AC unit replacement for the admin area this week, and we got 13 windows in the jail replaced. They finished that up last month, so trying to do some repairs and upgrades. I believe that's all I have.
But I tell you, I talked to Don, and he just, you know, use those, that has no use of those lights. He's
Okay.
done the same thing, he's pushing over LEDs too, so. They have a bunch of 4-foot, whatever you call them.
I don't know if they were T18, I don't remember what I
Yeah.
had. Fluorescent.
Fluorescent light bulbs, so if anybody knows of any uses for those for anybody, we'll have lots of them to give away.
Okay, okay, sounds good. Any questions for, is there anybody else down the,
No, unless you want me to send Chris down here or something, he's the only other one here.
well, I don't
Well,
know.
he'll need to at some point, because there's a couple grants on here for him.
Yeah, we can just wait till we get to those grants or whatever, so.
Well, thank you.
All right, hey, thank you. Okay, well, no public, I guess, so. Approval of the minutes, July 9th?
I assume all those changes got put in there, I didn't read it again.
That is correct, they did.
I'll move to approve them.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Additional appropriations?
I'd like to speak to the plat book, that's for the copier that we agreed to, the commissioners put on the schedule for that office, and the rest of the balance of that is for the $500 a month for WTH for parcel split work that some of us were involved with Jim and Laura on agreeing to do that to help them with some of these very difficult splits. I have no idea what the local road and street one is.
Pardon?
What is the local road and street additional about?
The local road and streets is for bituminous material that Jamie had sent in, $26,443.26. Dust control money collected.
Oh, it's from the dust control.
That's basically the dust control revenue.
Any other questions on those, or?
I'll move approval.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded to approve the additionals, all in favor?
Aye.
Have no transfers, no jury pay, reappropriate.
Those reappropriation funds, we had $4,246.50 come in. That was receipted in for the sheriff vehicle, that was totaled out. We had $1,000 coming in from the Parke County LLC grant money to be put in. That was receipted in. We also had a receipted in from Parke County LLC for the LH Emmer prepared grant of $3,125 to be moved into additional appropriations.
I understand the first one, but aren't the rest of the other two of these just revenues that would
Yes.
be additional appropriations? I mean, we didn't spend the money. Has this money been spent and
Yes.
then we get repaid for it?
Correct. I need to move it down into...
So this is it was a reimbursement grant for these last two.
Correct.
Yeah, so the drug court paid $1,000 for incentives, and then LCC sent a check for $1,000. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. Yeah, something. Fine.
Okay. So any other questions on that?
Move to approve the reappropriation of funds as presented.
All in favor?
Aye.
Committee reports, redevelopment did not meet.
I have something for you though, John, to sign for redevelopment.
Oh, okay. Planning and zoning
Did not get a quorum. Did not meet.
did not meet. Courthouse security did not meet.
I have something I need to ask you, because it's really just come up this week. We may, we're going to request an additional pickup of the recycling bins, because we are now more than ever having them get full and people start putting stuff outside, so we need more than one time a week. I don't know if there would be additional cost to us. We already pay that amount, but I'm sure that amount is based upon the service that we get. I have no idea if it's going to be additional, but if there is, are you guys good with making that change to get another day of recycling bins being hauled out?
West Central is solid waste in it.
Yes. And if they still have that $1 million or so sitting in their pot, because our fee is based upon what we get. So if they say, my argument would be you just need to take it out of that $1 million fund sitting there.
Well, that's what I
I
would
thought our
think.
fee was based upon population, and
It
a certain
is.
number of dollars per people.
But I think it's a certain number of dollars per person based upon the service that you get. So if you have so many trips a week, it's gonna cost this much per person, that's what it comes down to, I think how that works. I'm not on that board, never have been,
Yeah.
but that makes sense to me, that's how it is. So it may not even be an issue, but are you guys comfortable with, we have to pay a little bit more to get another?
That thing fills up in 2 days.
It does, it does. And then, most people take it with them if they can, but we still get a lot of people just set it on the ground, expect somebody to put it in the new dumpster when it comes, so. I think we really need one, if you guys are okay with that.
So about the $1 million that you mentioned, I mean, do they have that much cash, or is that?
I think they still do. I did get a letter from, I asked George for a budget, and I don't get much response from George on that. And I don't think Dan goes to meetings much, because George is our proxy on that. George is still the president of it. So I think they still have those funds. They're in a bit of a mix right now, because Montgomery County is going to pull out. If they haven't already, they're going to do their own. They're big enough to have their own recycling center. So how that's going to affect the rest of us remaining, we don't know yet.
Well, I saw you copied me on the email that you sent, and I never saw any response. I was hoping, that's something, probably a budget that we're gonna be asking you about is what's that?
Dan would be the one to talk to, because I think, to one of our meetings, I think Dan brought a copy of the budget. So Dan Collin would have the budget. He's our rep on that board, so you might make contact with him about getting something to you.
Well, and the other question was with Montgomery pulling out, it makes me wonder if there's not a problem with that, because all the counties that, we started out with several counties in that, and they continue to pull out. And I don't know if it's just because of size, the big ones pull out.
Their own, they can save like $36,000 a year by doing their own, and create some jobs. So that's what they're looking at. John Fry is their one of the commissioners. We talked about that last time we were together, and that's why they're doing. They're not upset with it at all. It's just they can save $36,000 by doing it themselves and create jobs.
So what county's left besides us then?
I don't know. Well, it's just Putnam us
Putnam's the
now.
only one left.
Okay.
You'd be lucky if they don't.
And if they do, then we got to decide what we're going to do, what our value is. Because, like I say, if it doesn't end up, the recycling is going to be a bunch of it end up just in the ditches someplace.
Well, we don't want that. I mean, too many people. I see how many people
Always
use
been
it.
all right.
It's well used. It's not that.
I need to get out and patch the holes again. I only started patching those holes after it stopped going out, but I couldn't fix it for them, but I can fix those holes for our people that go in for the recycling bin. So I need to do that again, because they're getting beat up and get so much traffic on it.
Well, I'd say we need to explore that more and try to see what the actual,
I'll get back to you.
because we'll need an actual cost number,
Yeah, I'll get it to you. I'll
find out maybe from how it's going to affect that. So, okay. All right. Do you want to have Chris step in here to explain the grants?
I'll get it. Yes. Okay. Chris isn't available, but you got the 18 coming instead, so we'll be good here.
Well, of course.
Oh, there you go.
I wish you could sit right there.
There you
Hey,
go.
what's the question?
Well, we just would like you to, we've got these grants in front of us and maybe just kind of explain what they are. The one is obviously for a reimbursement for the salary, it's a performance grant for the salary. I think we understand that one.
Yeah, that's the one that was 18,450 and it's only gonna be 18,000 this year.
Okay.
And
Do we know why?
the state, it's all, I mean, the state puts that out, so. The other one, he said it's $7,090. And it's not been approved, but that's the, I believe it's LAPC, has something to do with the LAPC.
Is this the hazardous material grant you're talking about now?
HMEP, yeah.
Hazard mitigation.
Yeah.
We updated that plan last.
Oh, it's
years
to,
ago.
oh, this one is to get the update. It's a grant to get for the update.
If it has to be updated so many years.
Mm-hmm. And then he told me that hopefully by Monday, we should be getting our CARES Act money. And it's $30,199.28 should be coming in on our first round that we submitted.
Yeah, I was gonna follow up on that.
Okay.
So yeah, that HMEP is is a grant to get it updated, the plan updated.
Okay. Is there any other questions about that?
No, that's good.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Yeah.
So I guess we should probably entertain a motion to
Maybe son.
have me sign.
So moved.
Second.
Motion been made, second, all in favor?
Aye.
I do have a question about this last one though.
So this is about
The lake.
the lake one. Yeah, I mean,
It was really a formal, I don't have a question really about what the family wishes to happen and stuff, but I do have a problem with where this was put. There is a fund for that shelter in the ledger at this point, and this money needs to go there because I can assure you that it will not be dedicated to that shelter in 1219. So it needs to be deposited in 4111. It's the Park and Rec Shelter Fund. That was the original donation to build that shelter from the Isaacs family. And there's still $130 some in there. We did an additional at the beginning of the year because I kept trying to get Chris to use that money on that shelter so that we weren't just sitting on $130 some. But this money needs to be deposited in that fund
I'll transfer it
instead of
over.
1219 because that way it'll meet the spirit and the request of the family that it gets done for what needs to be done. So, I think it's appropriate that we thank the executor, Mr. Isaac's estate, for the donation to the park for the shelter. And it is a very nice shelter out there now. And this will help, $5,000 will help keep that shelter up and improve it over time. So I think it's a good thing.
okay. You also have in your packet the report from the ambulance service. You can read that for yourself. 154 responses in July, 125 patients transported in July. I'll not read the rest of it. You can read it yourself. Budget hearings are scheduled for a week from today in the auditor's office. 8:30 start. Commissioner Meece will be first on the agenda if he's available. I've tightened up the schedule as much as I can, so we'll be moving. I intend to move fairly quickly through it. So we will need to schedule a special meeting. We will not meet the second day because we do not have the income tax revenues yet from the state of Indiana. So we'll be setting a special meeting to deal with that and to kind of go over the budget. We're thinking September 18th.
I would propose the 18th of September. I'd just say at 1 o'clock, the afternoon on the 18th.
And we'll do that here.
We can have that back over here.
We can have it back over here so it doesn't affect the auditor. The tax sale is that morning. I've told the auditor as long as she has somebody here to take minutes,
Which I'll be here.
that's all we'll need. Because I expect that we'll just go over the funds, probably decide last minute
Yeah,
things, and we'll have a
we'll
better
have the
idea
revenues by then, and then-
how the revenue's gonna come in. It's likely the 21's not gonna be too bad on revenues. It's probably gonna hit us harder in 22 and 3. But we'll just have to wait and see what happens. I saw something in the newspaper, Parke County's unemployment rate now is 8.4%, down from 8.8. Does that sound right, Cindy?
Slow decline.
Which is small decline. So
1 o'clock on the 18th.
1 p.m. on the 18th.
That's what I would like to do at this point. We can change that.
So next week we'll
if it's
just go
unnecessary.
just go Thursday only next week.
Thursday only.
Thursday only next week.
There's no point meeting next Friday.
Because until we have those income tax revenues,
We're not gonna know where we're at.
we're not going to know really where we're at. So until we have those.
Nope.
But we can get the hearings over with and discuss, make some of the decisions, at least some things that you want to add or subtract, and go from there. Is there anything else?
Form 3 was submitted on the 7th. So that's up and advertised more than 10 days prior to the hearings on the 20th. Adoption will remain on October 8th here. That's our regular scheduled meeting in October. I did finally, there's been all kinds of problems with the gateway system. It has been an absolute nightmare to deal with this budget. Finally yesterday got at least the first version of the 4Bs right. I basically manually did the Form 3 to get around that problem because you couldn't, it wasn't working. But that's set now, so the property tax bearing funds that are, all the forms are filled in appropriately. There's one error on the debt fund, but there's nothing I can do about that right now. Initial levies are assigned so that we'll see what the numbers would look like at a point, and then we can adjust them if we need to. So to get a number that we can work with on Thursday, and so that when we start talking about some of these bigger ticket items, I have some numbers put in for levies of what I think at this point can work. So other than that, we'll see Thursday, and we'll hear what everybody has to say. And you've been sent all the letters, you have your books now, you've heard a little bit about the things that are in the budget that we need to think about, and we'll go from there.
Okay. Anything else?
Motion adjourned.
Second.
Okay. All right, thank you. 9:27.